Hi guys, welcome back. Someone said to me this morning that they were watching this video, and I was like, no way, Gary is on his way back as we speak, and he is. We've got some rear brake pads going on. We're going to follow the same system I normally do. I'm going to give Gary some guidance and advice, and then he's going to do the majority of the work. First bit of advice for him is quite simple. Crack off that bolt there and that bolt there. They're probably size 12s. And then once that's off, we'll assess what's going on the inside, check the pistons, and see where we go from there. Gajan. Gajan, it's not. Gajan is so polite. Every time I try and say his name properly, he never really corrects me. He always goes, yeah, you're close. Even when I'm calling him Gary. Yeah, you're close, that's close.
Yeah, it's starting with G, so yeah, I will take it.
Gary learnt the first lesson of brake pads there. The piston popping back in can be a bit of a pig sometimes. Honestly, guys, it's not about power in that one. We used the proper tool, it's there, that's the piston pusher. It's not about power, it's about pushing them in evenly, that's the first thing. And secondly, it's just take your time. You can use a tiny bit of grease on pistons, a tiny bit of grease, but I fully suggest brake cleaning after, when they're all back together fully, so that it doesn't go on the pads. We use such a tiny amount that we're not going to have any issue at all. And we've noticed that the fluid is very, very dark. The bike's 6 years old. It's probably due a fluid change. I don't think I have any, so I don't think we can do that for now. But we will look into that soon, next time. It will be fine for the MOT. If I have got some, I do want to change it though. So guys, we've got some nice new brake fluid. We're just going through the process of bleeding the back brake. Now, anyone who knows me knows I hate bleeding back brakes because they're so temperamental, and it's because the system doesn't really have much of a high and a low. Front brake's very easy, you're right up here and right down there. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to drain out the old fluid and we're going to put through the new fluid. Old fluid's going into that bottle. Keep it simple. Pump it through. Wait 3 or 4 seconds. Close the valve. Do it again. Top up the bottle until clear fluid comes through and the rubbish fluid's gone. I haven't got anything to hold this camera right now. My new camera's still in the shop, so I can't really film this one. But this is what we're doing, so it's, yeah. We're just letting you guys know. After this, I'm going to be working very briefly on the Varadero. I'm going to be setting it up properly to see that it runs and rides. That won't take long. And technically, I've got the bits I need for the bobber over there. I've got the new CDI, which should work. And I think I fixed the carb last night. I think I fixed the carb. So I'm going to be chucking that on and seeing how that works. We might have an up and running bobber today. That's if I'm not going to barn it to collect a Harley Davidson. So guys, Gary's gone now. It's always nice helping local people work on their bikes. He did the majority of the work there and learned how to do brake pads and fluid changes. I'm back on the Varadero. I've upped the idle a touch. Where I'm struggling now is with the pipe work. I've got two pipes that I just can't work out where they go. I've got this one here. Actually, I think I've solved that problem. Have I not? I think, there you go. Right, so this one has to go into here, or this one has to go into here. Okay, so I will pop that off. That one's solved. The last one is this one here, and I think this one simply goes into probably here. Most likely here. Wet. Yes, so on the old carb, this one went to the back, to the other side. But actually on this one, the back and the other side goes to... Where are you? Oh, don't spill out now. Oh, it don't matter anyway, you're all... It's a bit of white vinegar in there, it's cleaning the system up. Yeah, so the old one came up to here. But this one comes down to there. And I don't think it matters as long as the water just goes around the system. So I need to pop... What's going to be easiest, down at the engine or up here? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, I'm going to work that out. Good, so I've figured out them pipes there. And then I think it's that pipe to here that's obviously easy and straightforward. Then I don't know. Then I think it's just pop the carbs back in, throw the tank on, chuck some fuel in, fire it up. No, I need to set up the throttle. Yep, because the old throttle I'm not going to be using. I'll be using the new one. That's fine. I'll run that up. Then so we're going to have a throttle. We're going to have a cooling system that's sealed. We're going to have carbs that are sealed and appear to be working. We're going to test them. We'll have a fuel tank on. God, it feels like we're close, guys. Let me sort out these little bits, pop the carbs back on, and then we'll look at where we go from there. It's probably going to be a pain in the arse routing the throttle, but we'll manage it. Oh, so guys, super busy. I think technically we're all set to throw the petrol tank back on. And so we throw the petrol tank back on, and then it should be a press of the button, really, technically. I don't see why not. So let me do that, and then I'll have to fill up the cooling system soon. It's not a huge issue right now, but soon. Yeah, I think it's all done and plumbed and ready to go. Let me get the tank on, and I'll fire it up, see if it idles well, and we'll look at where we go from there. If it idles well, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes to warm up, and then I'm going to take it up and down that road to see how it runs. If it runs normal, top up the cooling system, start looking at bits and pieces of spray, just cleaning up and neatening up, getting them wheels back down to my jet wash, or just giving them a good clean with something. And then, you know, we're on task to get this one MOT'd and moved on at some point this week. If anyone out there is looking for a good 125, obviously let me check it and test it and run it first. It'd be around $850, I'm guessing, with a year's MOT. So yeah, and this is what it's going to look like. Obviously I'm going to do bits and pieces of cleaning on it, but ultimately this is what you'd be getting. So if anyone's looking for a 125 or got a young one looking for a 125, at least you know the work's been done on this one. But yeah, let me get this tank on and we'll see where we sit. So guys, promise you I haven't fired it up, but there is fuel in there now and the fuel is on. The tank's massive. No overflow, that's good. I've got the choke on. It liked a bit of choke yesterday to start up, first time. Obviously it likes a bit of choke and a bit of revs. I've got a good feeling about this one. I think I'm going to let it warm up a minute or two, then drop the choke, and then yeah, see how it idles. So far it seems, I mean, it started so much better straight away, guys, so there's most of your problems there, isn't it? Because it was the starting kind of idle, the starting jet, the starting system on the other bike that just didn't work. The airbox on this is fully secured. The air filter is new, even though I've been using it for a couple of weeks. It's still a new one. Let's see how you idle. I put the idle up a touch. Oh, probably need to do it a bit more. Guys, sadly I can't take you with me but I am going to take this out for a spin and see how it runs and rides. If it runs and rides well, I'm going to be ecstatic, because then it's about beautifying it and moving on. It rode great, guys. No issues at all now. Still a bit weak on the bottom end, but none of the spluttery. I think it just is a bit weak on the bottom end, this featuring. Absolutely nothing like the old carbs though, much better, much smoother, it transitions better, and it's not holding the revs up high. Really nice to ride actually, guys. And you see how much weight I took out of the seat on both sides by taking out some of the foam for weight saving. So if you want to buy this bike right now with the weight saving, it's going to cost you a bit more than if I put a brand new seat on or a second hand decent one. No, seriously guys, what am I doing next? I don't really know. Obviously I need to get it kind of topped up with coolant, make sure it's holding all its fuels and stuff. I need to get the idle up a little bit more. It's close, it just needs to be a little bit more. I'll check the oil again for level at some point. And God, it's just kind of done really, guys. Then it's MOT stuff. No, I need to get the relay on and see if I can get the indicators working. Everything else seems to be close enough, which is good. Great, I think it's time for a lunch break. So everyone, guess what colour paint I'm using? Not really, it's blatantly black. I just popped these side bits off. I'm going to give the bike a bit of a clean. It's just a bit messy in places. Just all these drips from old fuel and stuff, and here and there, and this and that. And it's a bit of a clean, bit of a polish up, some black spray here and there. Get the wheels cleaned up at some point. And then we're kind of one step closer. I think tomorrow I'll look at the electrics in regards to the indicators. I'll kind of do all this. I'll get all these off, give them a bit of a spray just so it's a bit cleaner. But yeah, I'm just going to pop some matte black on this. Guys, just thin coats. It's matte black. You don't need any wet layers, although wet layers will make a thicker coat in the end. So if you're not great with spraying with matte black, spray thin and loads of thin coats. If you're a bit better, go medium. And if you know what you're doing, do a couple of thin coats and then a couple of mediums and maybe 1 or 2 wets. And then you get kind of 7 coats of spray paint, which is still quite thin, if we're being honest. A tiny little scratches off. But when you've done it yourself, you can always just give it a quick blitz over once a year if needed. So I'm going to be painting up these side foot plates just because they look terrible. And then the bike's going to look 100 times better just with that simple little change.